Hey there, you found us. I'm BJ Krintzman, and this is You're Doing Good. Welcome to our show. I'm really excited about tonight's show. We're featuring the Newton Food Pantry, and we're taping this show on November 19th, so we're heading into Thanksgiving, which is the perfect time. Of course, we all talk about food constantly now, but perfect time to talk about food insecurity, I guess. So we have the expert with us. We have Jeff Lemberg, who's the Executive Director of the Newton Food Pantry. Welcome, Jeff.
Thank you.
And we also have Ines Kasper, who is a volunteer at the Newton Food Pantry. And I will say that when I told Jeff that maybe he would bring a volunteer, he said, "Oh, I know just who I want to bring. I know just who I've got the right person." So thank you, Ines, for coming.
Thank you for having me.
So tell us a little bit about yourself. We're interested in you. Tell us your background, when you got to Newton, and how you got interested in the food pantry.
Sure. Thanks for having us.
You're welcome.
So I live in Newton. I've lived here for 15 years. I live in Waban, and have two teenage daughters who've gone through the public school system. And I've been the executive director of the pantry for 2 years now. So I'm the first ever executive director. The organization has been around for 42 years, but it was always volunteer run for about 38 of those years or so. And so we have a staff now of 5, but we're still powered by 130 different volunteers every week. And my background is a little unique. So I was a journalist for a dozen years, and so newspapers, magazines. And
in this area, were you a journalist?
It was in this area, and then in Connecticut and Washington, D.C. We lived down there for about 10 years. And then I was a college professor, and so taught communications, media studies, and did that for a dozen or so years. And then I've been running nonprofits for the last half dozen years.
How nice. Communications and media study. I'll try to behave. I hope I do okay.
I think you'll get a passing grade.
You're going to give me a report card afterwards. Okay. Ines Kasper, welcome to you. You're a volunteer. Tell us a little bit about you. You told me you grew up in Newton.
Yes, I grew up in Newton. I've been here since I was a teenager. I moved away for a few years in between, but came back and have been here for several years now. And I'm a medical interpreter at Mass General Hospital, and have been with the pantry for about 2 years, also volunteering.
Fabulous. Tell me about medical interpreter. This is a patient who doesn't speak English, and you translate so they can be in online. Do you do it? Or is
I
it
do it in
remote
person.
In person.
Yes.
So you have to also know medical terminology.
Yes.
That sounds so hard.
Yeah, but it's interesting, and if you like that, it's not so hard. It becomes just another thing.
What you're doing. Yeah. So how do you say MRI in Portuguese?
Ressonância magnética.
See? I heard the magnetica. Okay, she actually, you nailed it. I know you nailed it. Okay, so anyways, I got you here. Let's talk about the Newton Food Pantry, and let me. That part's about you. Is the Newton Food Pantry an independent 501c3, or is it run by the City of Newton? How does this work?
Yeah, so we've always been an independent nonprofit organization. We lease space from the city, so we've been in City Hall for the last 9 years. So we're in the basement of City Hall. Seti Warren, when he was mayor, and he was actually invited us to come in and utilize the space. Before that, we were in the basement of the Waban Library. And for some years, and before that, in the basement of a church. And so we've been in City Hall for a while, but we are independent entirely. And this spring, we're actually moving to our original home, our new home, shall I say. So we have a brand new pantry that we're building from the ground up in Auburndale on Rumford Ave, next to the recycling center, and we're extremely excited about it.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, let's unpack a little bit of what you said. First of all, Seti Warren, rest in peace. Yeah. Newton, we all mourn him. We just loved him. What a shock that was, that he died so 50, I think, 55. I forget. Very, very young. Terrible. Also, Alice Jacobs has been on this show. You probably know her. Mm-hmm. She's the volunteer supreme of the Waban Library, so that's fabulous. So, but you pay rent to the city of Newton? They charge. They charge you?
They do not charge us.
Okay.
The city has been very kind, and so they've let us just operate out of City Hall for these years, and so they've been very generous in that way.
Excellent. Okay. So, and you mentioned a new location. You're building this from the ground up?
We are.
Fabulous. And where'd that money come from?
So a local developer reached out of nowhere, and one day, a couple of years ago, and said he has this parcel of land. It was supposed to be a marijuana dispensary, and the people who were going to build that backed out because there was a lot of weed in Newton, apparently, and so they decided to move on, and the developer just wanted to do something positive with the land and reached out to us, and we happily accepted the donation. So from there, we launched a capital campaign and raised the money to do the build, and it was a successful campaign, and we've been building for the last 4 or 5 months now, and we will be done in the spring. And so we'll be opening in the spring, and it'll be 5,000 square feet, which is about triple the space we have now. We'll have 25 parking spots on site, which is great. The area is serviced by 2 bus lines, so people can get to us in any number of ways.
Right.
And we'll have tons of storage. So I think one of the things you don't appreciate in the hunger relief world is it's almost less about the food and more about storage, because if you don't have a place to put it, you can't distribute it. And so we're going to have just tremendous amount of storage space to be able to serve more people.
That's fabulous. That's fabulous. And how much did it cost to build the building?
It's going to be about $3.5 million to build it. And so, you know, a lot of generous people, so individuals, foundations, companies that have rallied and supported us. And so we're incredibly grateful to everybody who's helping us.
And I've gone to your fundraisers too. The one that was at the Waban...
At the Windsor Club.
Windsor Club, yeah. I've gone to that. But I think you might have gotten in under the wire too, because building costs are skyrocketing right now, and the whole Chinese and the tariff business and all that. Mm-hmm. So you might have lucked out in the timing. Yeah, great. And what do I have to do to wangle an invitation to the ribbon cutting? Do I have to...
You know,
is that going to happen?
I think you're on the short list.
Oh, okay.
So there you go. So.
Now, notice, Newton, he didn't say you've made it. We'll invite you. He said you're on the short list. Okay, listen. So I'll let you know, Newton, whether I make it or not. Okay, so describe it for me, and maybe you want to jump in, Ines, and describe the pantry itself. If I walked in, what do I see there?
Well, first you'll be met by a greeter who will take down your name and make sure you're on the list. Then you take the elevator down to the basement.
That I'm on the list to get food at the pantry?
Yes.
Oh, how do I get on the list?
Well, you have to first fill out a form which asks you questions about where you live and some personal, how many people are in your household and things like that.
And the income must include the income of the household.
That's
so we don't do income. So we don't ask that. We don't ask for proof of income. So it's an equity model. We trust if you show up and you say you need help, we're here to help. And so to qualify for certain USDA products we have, you do sign an attestation that your household income is below X. But otherwise, we trust you that if you say you need help, then we're here to help you.
Okay. Right. And then what? There's just an array of... Is it like going to a supermarket?
This is actually the best part of the pantry that I think is that people are treated with so much respect. They're given a shopping cart and they get to go around the pantry and choosing what they want to take home. They don't get a pre-made bag that dictates what they have to eat.
Right.
You know, they get to choose what they eat, and I think that's just a beautiful thing. And people appreciate that, and we see that in their faces.
And is there a limit? Do you get a box and you get to fill it once, or?
No. So
a shopping cart. I don't know what it is.
Yeah. So it's again equity model. So household size informs how much of any product that you might be able to get. So let's say apples. So if you're a household of 1 or 2, you might be able to have up to 4 apples. If you're a household of 3 or 4, up to 7 apples. If you're a household more than that, so. Household size is kind of the variable that will indicate how much you can have of any product.
All right. And can people only come once a week, or is there a limit to how often you can come?
So you can shop any 2 weeks a month. So 2 times a month you can utilize us, and you'll get a week's worth of groceries essentially coming through. And it's both fresh produce, eggs, meat, whole grains, as well as shelf stable, as well as an array of personal care items. So we provide toilet paper, toothpaste, soap, baby diapers, wipes, menstrual products, etc.
And where does this come from? Where does your inventory come from? Can I come over and say, here's a toothbrush?
You could.
Just for instance.
Yeah, you could. We could use that extra toothbrush. But we get a lot of our food from Greater Boston Food Bank. Some of that is for free. Some of that we pay for. We use a wholesale produce vendor out of Chelsea called JW Lopes, and they're fantastic. And so we buy a lot of stuff from them. We utilize
at a reduced rate. Do you get
it's wholesale?
You get wholesale
yeah.
rate. Okay, yeah.
We utilize a few different international markets, so we carry culturally relevant food. So, sizable number of our clients are Russian, Chinese, Spanish-speaking, and so we have products from Eastern European markets, Spanish markets, Asian markets, and then just a range of other things that we get that, whether it's through the personal care items, some of that's donated. So Kratos of Crayons is a great supporter of ours. Dignity Matters is another nonprofit that helps provide some of this stuff for us.
All right, but I couldn't come over and give you a bag of apples. Or can I? I mean,
Yeah.
I'm thinking about making safety, making sure that the food is okay.
Yeah. So non-perishables, people will donate non-perishables, and this time of year we get a lot of food drive products. So shelf stables, things like pasta, rice, canned goods, etc. And so people can drop that off to us at the pantry, or we also operate the Newton Community Fridge, which is on Watertown Street in Nonantum, and people can directly bring products there. In that case, you could bring your apples and put it. We have a refrigerator and a dry pantry down there, and it's open 24/7, 365 days, and we are stocking it multiple times a day. So that's another way that people can donate products.
And the fridge doesn't have a limitation 2 times a month.
Correct. It's
can
public
just-
use. Yep. So it's people can use it as much as they need. So the motto is take what you need, leave what you can. And so people can utilize it however they need to.
And that is stocked by donations. That you're not. Are you buying things to stock the fridge?
So
And fridge, spell it for Newton. F-R-E-E-D-G-E.
that's right. That's right. Nice job. So at the end of our service week, so we're open all day on Wednesday and then half of the day on Thursday. On the end of the day Thursday, all the leftover produce ends up finding its way down to the fridge. So we do that. There's other things that we'll provide. Different restaurants and grocery stores donate things to the fridge.
Right.
And so we have a small army of volunteers who are on a schedule, and they'll go to these places and pick up and bring it to the fridge. They help clean up the refrigerator there and help with the garbage down there. So there's a good 20 or so restaurants, grocery stores, bakeries that donate products for the fridge. And then some of these also donate directly to us. So Rosenfeld Bakery,
bagels, yeah.
they donate directly to the Newton Food Pantry. A Great Harvest Baking Company in Newtonville does many loaves of bread each week for us. So
Nice.
the community has been really supportive of our work.
Nice. Now, let's just talk about the primary location, not the fridge, for a minute. In terms of what volunteers do there. And by the way, I noticed you've said that a lot of the customers speak different languages. I know why you're a valued volunteer there.
Yes, so volunteers do many different things. We stock the shelves, we distribute the food when they come, we do the greeting. I've done greeting, I've done stocking, I've done translating actually of instructions of information about the pantry for people. So I've done it in different languages.
What languages do you speak?
Spanish and Portuguese. Portuguese was my primary language, but I also learned Spanish, so I can do both. And but we have Russian, we have Mandarin, Cantonese,
Arabic.
Yes, we have many different languages and many different types of need, and it's just, it's amazing. The best part of volunteering is you don't expect to make such a community out of it. You know, you meet so many people, and these are your neighbors and people who are volunteering and who are clients there. And you get to see them then in the neighborhood, and it just it's the best feeling of community I've ever had in Newton.
Oh, it's wonderful.
Yeah.
That's so nice to hear that. Now, do people have to check out when do they just leave with their stuff, or do you check that they have the correct number of apples in their cart, or?
Yeah, no, once they're done shopping, they leave, say thank you, they bring their cart upstairs and pack their car, and volunteers will help bring the carts back downstairs, and we have volunteers who help, especially for some of our older clients, help them with their bags and getting them to their car.
Yeah.
And then on their way.
Fabulous. So it's the honor system, basically.
It is, yeah. I mean, it's a community, so it's a community-serving community, and we have this incredible group of volunteers. So intergenerational, we have volunteers as young as 15 and in their 80s. It's multilingual, multicultural, so it's a great collection of folks, and they're serving, as Ines said, their neighbors, so it's really nice.
And I knew about the age range because 2 of my grandchildren volunteer at Newton Pantry, and my daughter-in-law volunteers at Newton Pantry, and a cohort of mine, it's roughly my age group, volunteers there. So right there you have a span of 65 years.
Yes.
I think, yeah. Fabulous.
Yeah.
It's so wonderful. And the smile on your face. I love the smile on your face. So you said supermarkets donate, restaurants donate, but it's all fresh food. Do you get day-old bread, stale bread? How does that all work?
Well, we don't take stale bread, but there's some day-old bread,
yeah.
for sure. So food that is still good. Grocery stores, so Wegmans and Star Market, we'll get breads, we'll get pastries from them as well.
And is that a volunteer thing that you would say, hey, we need someone to go over to Star Market and pick up a couple of boxes of pastries or something?
It is. Yeah. So well, once somebody gets onboarded as a volunteer and they learn about us and our processes, et cetera, they can decide what area they would like to volunteer in. And so, we have everything from Monday mornings, we'll get 7,000 pounds of food from the Greater Boston Food Bank, and it just shows up.
Did you say 7,000 pounds?
It's a lot of pounds. And
7,000 pounds of food?
And it gets dumped into pallets outside of City Hall, and those have to get broken down and then unloaded and brought downstairs. And so, we have a crew, and it's like an hour and a half, 2 hours of, you get a nice sweat going in the beginning of your Monday. And then, Tuesdays we have pre-bagging because we do some home deliveries. Wednesday we're open all day for clients, et cetera. So there's all sorts of different opportunities to get involved.
And I share your feeling, Ines, because I volunteer when I'm at the Cape. There's an organization called Cape Kid Meals, and I might have them on this show. And it's a different from yours. It's not a food pantry, but they discovered that children who get meals at school left on Friday, and when they came back Monday, I always cry when I tell this, when they came back Monday, they hadn't eaten from lunch on Friday till lunch on Monday. So these are bags, they're not for the school lunches, this is that we fill bags for them to take home for the weekend. And they're really bags for the family. Mm-hmm. It's rice and it's macaroni and cheese and peanut butter and apples and that kind of stuff.
Yeah. There's a church in Newton, so the Church of Redeemer, which is Chestnut Hill area, and they do that. And so they have a program called the Fuel Program, and they're fantastic, and they do that for a number of the schools in Newton for exactly that, the Friday kind of weekend food option. So all non-perishable items that they then bring to the schools, and their point person in each school distributes it to the kids.
There are those who would say, Newton? People need food in Newton. Tell me about the problem in Newton and how big it is, food insecurity.
Yeah, so There's about 6,000 people here in Newton that are dealing with food insecurity, which is defined as lacking consistent access to enough nutritious and healthy food.
Newton has a population of what, 85,000-ish?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And so, it's sizable. We're in the 11th largest city in the state, and 6,000 people is a tremendous number of people. There's 4,300 of those who are receiving SNAP benefits, which is what is now used to be food stamps.
Right.
And so it's a sizable number of folks who are struggling, and whether that's seniors on fixed incomes, families who are struggling to get by, it's a high cost of living in Newton, people who have just fallen on hard times, new arrivals to our city. So it's a real cross-section of folks who need some help. We also serve a number of college students. So there's kids who are in grad school at Boston College or LaSalle or William James who utilize us. It's one of those kind of hidden in plain sight problems where students who are in grad school are dealing with food insecurity at a pretty high rate.
Yeah.
So we see a lot of it, and part of the reason we're building this new pantry is we're really only reaching half of it right now, but the new building is going to allow us to operate more days of the week, more hours, find different ways to get food to people who need it.
Do you have statistics? I don't know if you poll people or not, but on how many handicapped people you're serving, how many elderly, how many children, that kind of thing?
Yeah, so about a third of the people we serve are older adults, so 65 plus. About 25% are children, so under the age of 18. About 60% of our clients speak a language other than English at home.
60%?
Yeah. And then about 50% of our clients identify as a person of color. So it's, like I said, we serve a really broad, diverse population of folks every week. And so it's an honor to be able to help out the people who are in our city.
That's so nice.
yeah.
And it's just Newton. If somebody from Brookline can't sneak in and grab 3 apples or what?
We don't. We will help them find the resource in their community, and so we will often direct folks to that. There's so much need right now in Newton, and we know we're not meeting the full need, so we're really focusing on meeting the full need here in Newton, and
Right.
Hopefully we're able to do that down the road.
Well, as I mentioned at the beginning of the show, we're taping this heading into Thanksgiving's a week away now, and then of course Christmas comes on. So, is there a bigger need around the holidays? What happens? Do things change?
It is. So this is our busiest time of year. I think with the SNAP crisis that recently happened, where people were not getting their benefits in November, we just saw a massive increase during what was already a busy time of month. So we saw a 40% increase in the number of households coming to us. So
I was going to ask you about that. And were you able to service everybody?
we were, yeah. I mean, I think I'm biased, but I think we've done a really nice job of planning for these types of things. You always know there's something that's going to happen. And so, the community, has been really supportive, whether that's through financial donations or food drives items. And so we're able to meet the need, and we're able to do more. So this month, we've been able to give every client who comes in a $20 gift card to Star Market. And so they're able to do that to help with, go get a turkey or get whatever you need for Thanksgiving. And that they get that each time they come. So they're getting $40 if they're utilizing us twice this month. We just launched a new program for seniors. So clients who are over 65 are getting a prepared, ready-to-eat meal. Rock's Diner we've partnered with for this. So we're paying Rock's Diner for this, but they're doing this at cost.
Yeah.
So they're donating all the labor, and these are great, like a salmon dinner, or today was salmon or a turkey dinner.
Yeah.
Last week was steak tips, and so it's really nice and a way for us to kind of help take care of some of the older adults who we serve who may have a challenge cooking at home.
Right. And I noticed on your website you also mentioned home delivery programs. Now, tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah. So we do some home delivery for people who are medically homebound. And so we ask for a little bit of paperwork on that. And then we also are in close collaboration with city social workers. And then we collaborate with Newton Neighbors, which is a separate nonprofit. And they help with those home deliveries as well.
And is that the same inventory that's at the food pantry? It's not meals that you're bringing them?
Correct, yep. So we pre-bag items from the pantry, and those are delivered, and it's just a group of volunteers, both ours and Newton Neighbor volunteers, who do that.
And as do you have you done that? What do you do? You've done it's sort of everything, but do you do that with the home delivery?
No, I haven't done that yet, but never say never.
Okay.
Still time.
Right. Well, let's just talk about, I don't know how big your budget is, or how can people donate. What do you need in terms of donations, in terms of volunteers? Do you have all the volunteers you need?
At this moment, we do. This is a busy time, and lots of folks come out this time of year to donate their time. Right now, because of the SNAP crisis, the number one thing that we needed was money.
Yeah.
It allows us to purchase the fresh, healthy foods that our clients come to us for, and we're able to do it on a schedule where we can manage the flow. So in our world, if you don't have a place to put the food, you can't distribute it. And so right now we're just kind of drowning in canned goods because of the generosity of folks donating for food drives, but we have no place to put it. So the basement of City Hall is overrun with boxes of spaghetti and canned goods, which is lovely. It's a good problem to have.
I was just going to say, a nice problem to have.
It's a good problem to have.
Right. And you're set for volunteers, but still, we're going to be streaming your website, www.newtonfoodpantry.org. That's right. And so people can go on that. You can figure out how to, if you want to volunteer, what you can do, and also if you want to donate, what you can do. And I also want to just mention to you that we're heading into Thanksgiving, and I make Thanksgiving every year. And starting 30 years ago, there was a crisis in Biafra. I don't know if you remember that. There was a huge famine in an African country. And I was so embarrassed that we were around this table laden with food upon food upon food. So I passed the hat, and I do that every year. And we pass the hat and give to a food bank. Often it's the Newton Food Pantry, and it's from our group. And I match, whatever the group raises. Yes. But yeah, just a little way, because we feel so gluttonous and so guilty about our riches. So Newton, just a suggestion: if you're having Thanksgiving, or you can do it at Christmas too, or anytime you have people around, it's not a bad idea.
Yeah, no, I think it's a great idea, and I would add. Lots of people come out this time of year to want to help and to donate, and this is our busy, year-end appeal time. But the reality is that food insecurity really is a year-long problem, and so the person who's struggling in November is very likely struggling in February and March and June, and so we really appreciate the continued support.
Right, right. What's the best part about volunteering? I think you said it, being the sense of community and meeting others. And
yeah, the people that you meet, it's been amazing, and I can't say enough about it.
Good. Anything bad about volunteering?
The worst thing about volunteering is that, unfortunately, we need to make a living, so I can't volunteer every day, because if I could, I would.
That's so sweet. Well, the name of this show is You're Doing Good, and you're doing good. This is fabulous what you guys are doing, and Newton Food Pantry is doing good. Thank you so much for being with us. This is fabulous. Donate to them, offer to volunteer year-round. We'll see you next time on You're Doing Good. Good night.